One Piece characters have some wild parents. Yeah, some are legends, some went out to buy milk and never came back, and some are just straight up insane. For example, Luffy's father is none other than Monkey D. Dragon, the most wanted man in the world and the leader of the Revolutionary Army. And his mother, well, she's unknown. Yeah, she's a big mystery. However, there is a wild fan theory that Crocodile might actually be Luffy's mom. Yeah, you heard that right. Some people believe that Ivankov used his Horm fruit to turn Crocodile into a man after giving birth to Luffy. Crazy? Sure. But impossible? Not in One Piece. Now, Dragon isn't exactly Father of the Year. The only time we've seen him show any care for his son was when he saved him at Logtown. But instead of raising Luffy, he left him with Garp, who then left him with Dadan, who is actually Luffy's mother figure. She raised him, if you can even call it that, since Luffy basically only came home to eat and sleep, but she clearly loved him. She risked her life to protect him and Ace, cried her eyes out when he left, and later we see her proudly collecting his bounty posters and celebrating his victories, like taking down Doflamingo. And after Ace's death, she even said her heart was breaking just thinking about what Luffy was going through. So no matter what, she'll always be on his side. Moving on, we've got Colin, whose father is Scopper Gabon and his mother is Ripley. So he's half human, half giant. And yeah, I have no idea how Gabon managed to pull this off. Although we already knew Gabon was legendary, I never thought he was this legendary. And yeah, that was literally the only reason I wanted to include Colin and his parents in this video. So now, let's talk about Roronoa Zoro, whose father is Roronoa Arashi, and his mother is Tera. Zoro's childhood wasn't easy. His mother died of illness when he was just a baby, and not long after, his father, a samurai from Wano, was killed by pirates. So with no parents, the only person he had in his life was Shimotsuki Kushiro, who became his father figure. Kushiro was Zoro's mentor, the father of Quina, and the man who trained him at his dojo in Shimotsuki village for all of those years when he was growing up. However, Kushiro didn't just teach Zoro sword techniques, he taught him discipline and the true meaning of being a swordsman. He then even gave him Wado Ichimonji, Quina's blade, after she passed away. So Zoro will forever be grateful to Kushiro. Oh, and fun fact, Zoro's actually a descendant of the Shimotsuki clan, which means Kushiro was technically family all along. Anyway, next up, we've got Yamato, and her father is none other than Kaido, the strongest creature in the world. And her mother? Well, that's a complete mystery. Now, Kaido as a father? Absolute disaster. Yamato instead looked up to Oden and declared herself as his reincarnation, which Kaido found so ridiculous that he chained her up, starved her, and locked her in a cave with 3 starving samurai with the real possibility that they'd kill her. Great parenting, right? Despite that, Yamato refused to break. She kept her faith in Oden's legacy and believed Joy Boy would come to free Wano, so when she met Luffy, she instantly knew that he was the one. She trusted him from the start and fought alongside him to take down her own father. And here's the thing, Kaido never even saw Yamato as his daughter. He called her his son, just because he wanted a powerful heir. Alright, talking about Kaido, we gotta talk about Franky. Because believe it or not, his dad is Queen. Yep, that Queen. Kaido's crazy left-hand man whose real name is Cyan. As for Franky's mom, that's still a mystery. But here's what we do know. When Franky was just 10 years old, his parents literally threw him off a ship, and now we know it was Queen who did it. And the crazy thing is how similar but yet completely opposite these two are. Both are brilliant engineers, both turned themselves into cyborgs, but that's where the similarities stop. Queen's a sadistic maniac who builds weapons of destruction and experiments on people, while Franky builds to protect, like building ships and inventions to help his friends to fight for what's right. But Franky never once saw Queen as a father. To him, his real dad was Tom, the legendary shipwright who took him in, taught him everything he knows, and believed in him. So Tom made Franky who he is today, and that's the only father figure he ever needed. Another straw hat we gotta talk about is Usopp. Usopp's father is none other than Yasopp, one of the best snipers in the world and a red-haired pirate. And his mother is Banchina, a super kind and loving woman who sadly passed away when Usopp was just a kid. Now let's talk about Yasopp, who literally left his wife and son behind in Syrup Village to chase his dream of being a pirate. While we know he genuinely loves his son, he's never once tried to reconnect with him, not even when Banchina was sick and dying. And you know that Usopp was screaming "Pirates are coming" at Syrup Village? Yeah, well, Usopp started lying that pirates were coming to the village because he hoped his dad would come back while his mom was sick. Yeah, heartbreaking. Banchina, on the other hand, gave Usopp love, support, and smiles, even as her health faded. And even though she passed away, her strength helped shape the man Usopp would become.